Hi everyone. On the 20th of March 2020, the Health Preservation and Protection and Other Emergency Measures in the Public Interest Act 2020 came into operation. Part 3 of this Act has been utilised by the Irish Government over the past 14 months to restrict the most basic fundamental human rights of every citizen of this country, such as making it an arrestable offence to leave your home unless you have a government mandated excuse permitting your travel. As you will likely be aware, Part 3 of the Act contains a sunset clause, such that unless a majority of TDs vote to extend its duration, it will expire on the 9th of June 2021. On Tuesday of this week, I started receiving panicked calls and texts from people asking if the vote to extend Part 3 had already taken place, due to news coverage by RTE and others stating that the laws had been extended to the 9th of November 2021. Let's be clear, RTE are not a news reporting agency. They are a government-funded propaganda machine, and I urge you to treat everything they say as suspect. To confirm, Part 3 of the Health Preservation Act has not been extended yet, and no vote has taken place. In my view, RTE and others deceitfully inferred that these fascistic laws had been extended in order to stop this and other lobby campaigns. Through your hard work and perseverance, the momentum we have gained has caused these control-obsessed enemies of the ordinary man and woman to resort to using sly tactics in order to retain power over us all. As regards the date for the vote, many of us have been eagerly watching the Dáil schedule this week, waiting for an announcement of the date, and we were very surprised that it was not listed for next week, or so we thought. What I would have expected to see in the Dáil schedule was Health Preservation and Protection and Other Emergency Measures in the Public Interest Act 2020 Part 3 motion. But when I searched it myself yesterday, what I found was a new piece of COVID legislation that I had not heard of, called the Health and Criminal Justice COVID-19 Amendment Bill 2021. So the government have decided not to hold a single vote to extend the duration of Part 3 of the Act, but instead they have drafted a new bill which requires the extension of 4 different pieces of legislation, including Part 3, such that a TD cannot vote to extend one piece of the legislation without voting to extend all of them. What this means is that TDs who do not want to vote against the extension will use the fact that the vote was not solely about the extension to justify their decision. The purpose of this video is therefore to urge you in the strongest possible terms to write to your TD today by post and by email, and also to follow up by phone call next week. This campaign is now urgent. This is your last opportunity to write to your TDs to tell them to vote against the extension of Part 3 of the Act. You will find a template letter that you may use to lobby some or all TDs in the description box of this video. I cannot stress enough the importance of sending in this final letter, even for those TDs who gave you an assurance that they would vote against the extension, considering that the government have now changed the parameters of the vote. If enough people were to send in this letter over the next couple of days, we would have the opportunity of regaining nearly every freedom that was stolen from us by the 10th of June. Finally, I ask you to think about how your life has been affected since the introduction of this legislation. Have you lost your business or your right to work? Are your children being forced to wear face coverings for 7 hours a day in school? Have you said goodbye to a dying relative while FaceTiming on an iPad because you were not allowed into the hospital or nursing home? Are you one of the 20,000 people who has been fined for leaving your home without the government's permission? Now is the time to take back control of your life, because I submit that you know better than any politician how to live your life in a free society. Please share this video and write to your TDs today. Thanks for listening.